Students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, listeners and those who are listening, watching from the field of science, arts, commerce and engineering, the most honorable President International Modi ji, respected ministers and doctors, honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators and advisors, reverend fathers and mothers, affectionate sons and daughters, I, Dr. Rakesh from USA, heartily cordially welcome all of you. It is really nice time, nice place, nice section that you are listening in praise, admiration and appreciation of the God's word. Dear friends, our India is known as the land of starters, beginners and initiators. Unity in diversity is the biggest and greatest feature of our nation. All over the world, we are known by equality, oneness, unity. Personally, professionally, emotionally, intellectually, and even spiritually. Our India is the starter of the different festivals, functions. Everywhere we see numberless, uncounted changes, varieties in the natures. Our country geographically has its location in the form of unity and diversity. Bottom to top, root to fruit, first to last, we are known by our spiritual values. When we go through our history, then history, all just recordings, downloadings, savings, these sources help us in knowing, keeping our futuristic generations forward. Our daily routine maintains our lifestyle. There is no alternate and option of our daily routine. We must try to handle our thoughts and ideas in our daily routine, and we are to imagine for the betterment and upliftment of our nation how we can recreate, regenerate and reoperate our nation. It is the demand of the time today. Dear friends, our spiritual knowledge, spiritual values can make us healthy. God's words, elixir for body and soul. If an individual commits too many sins and keeps on weeping and repenting over them, it is of no use for him. But if he recites the Lord's name and prays to him, saying, O God, I am a sinner. I have no power to see you by myself. You are compassionate and benefactor. On writing the same thing, will the butter come out of the milk? Certainly not. In this case, a bit of curd is added to the lukewarm milk in the evening. The mixture gets converted into curd till morning. Then it is churned with the help of milk churner, and the butter is separated from the surface of buttermilk. It is then heated and brought to the final shape, the form of ghee, which means that one has to process the milk to extract the hidden or latent fat inside it. Similarly, there is a method to have a vision of God inside one's body. The only thing needed is to practice certain specified words. These words are known as Nam. The Hindu saints say, repeat God's words for divine intellect. The only way to achieve salvation in this age of vice is the true words of God, which cost nothing. Tulsidas ji says, one who asks for money on the name of God is cheating the people, because the true Naam is bestowed free of cost. The great Guru says about this Naam, now hath approached the era of Kal. So, seeds of holy words above all. Season is not for other seeding, never remain in any misleading. Sacred Nam's recitation. It means the age of vice has reached now. Let the seed of Nam be sown, a seed which can grow in this body and take you to God is the seed of Nam only. The season is not favorable for any other seed sowing except Nam's recitation. Don't remain under any illusion, please. The Hindu and Sikh great men have told this thing, and the same is preached by Muslim saints also. They have said, if you want the divine vision of God, you should wholeheartedly repeat the kalmas of Khuda. The English saint says, repeat God's words if you want to have the divine vision of God. Where is the difference? The Hindu and Sikh saints have called it Naam. The Muslim saints have called it God's words. There is only the difference of language. Actually, there is no change in its properties. All these names have the same meaning. These are the words, the practice of which brings your soul or thoughts out of the materialistic or physical world and concentrate them here in the 10th door, the place between the two eyes exactly above nose. Then you will be able to have the divine vision of God. Perfection needs no proof. So, brothers, I'll tell you these above referred words. I assure you that you will neither change your religion, caste, language, etc., nor your dress. You can carry on your religion and profession to have faith in any religion and to wear any type of dress. Personal affairs, and we do not interfere in such matters at all. I do not advise you to give up worldly tasks and become totally busy in the meditation of God. I tell you the method to remembering God. Suppose you are going on foot, you may recite the word's name with your tongue. God accepts such meditation in this age of vice. You are lying in the bed but are not feeling sleepy. Recite the name of God and it will be rewarded by Him while busy in worldly affairs. Means physical work. Remember God in your thoughts. It will be accepted by God. Suppose you are a shopkeeper and are cleaning your shop, keep doing it. And instead of thinking ill of others, recite the words side by side. And it is even easier for the farmer brothers while doing their agricultural activities like plowing and sowing, which you often do sitting on a tractor. You can recite spiritual words orally because you have to do nothing with your tongue while operating the tractor. Do you press your clutch and brakes with your tongue? No, they are pressed. They are pressed with the help of feet only. Keep your tongue and thoughts busy in the meditation of God. The farmers can recite the sacred Shabd while doing any work related to agriculture. However, the people who do some mental work for which they have to think and apply their mind with concentration cannot remember God while at work. Because every type of mental work is directed by brain, but they can recite the holy words during rest hours. We often come across the employees of an office sitting idle and gossiping. You must have observed people generally speak ill of the person who is not present there. We have heard them saying that so and so person is good for nothing but has surpassed them in promotion. The other says, why will he not make progress when he knows the art of psychophancy? He entertains the boss and his children and goes on progressing. Brothers, if you don't like psychophancy, don't do it. But don't feel jealous of others. You will get nothing through envy. You should understand that you are just cleaning their dirt and making them free from their rage. You should think better for yourself instead of finding falsehood others. Suppose you have much work at your disposal in the office and you are feeling mental tension due to increased workloads. Since this name of God or Nam is useful in every sphere of life, so you should go to drink some cold water and repeat the God's words only for 5 minutes. After some time, you will become tension free. People generally spend a lot to remove this tension. Suppose you feel tension or restless due to some quarrels, etc., then you should immediately recite God's name because this name of God is powerful and is very useful remedy. You should remember God from the inner core of your heart. The sacred words will eliminate your evil thoughts and you will enjoy the divine vision of God. What is now? The only thing which can help you to achieve salvation in this age of voice, it is sacred now method of meditation of God. I'll describe it by quoting examples from the hymns of spiritual sense. True spiritual sense are those who first practice spirituality in their own life and then they bestow this knowledge to others. They are divine personalities who never cheat others. They do not rob others on the name of God. Contrary to this, they feel pain when anybody robs others on the name of God. They consider it a gross injustice to cheat the people on the name of God, the Supreme. I often relate examples from the compositions of men like Kabir ji, Farid ji, Ravidas ji, Paltu ji, Shamastana ji Maharaj, Shah Satram Singh ji Maharaj. Their sayings are absolutely true. They have imparted the teachings they have personally experienced and perceived with their own eyes. Nam is of two types. The first is revelatory, which is going on continuously in every particle of this universe. Different great men have called it with different names. That very Nam, which is going on inside your body and also in every particle of this universe, every particle of this universe has been called Dhunatmak Nam by Kabir Sahib Ji. The Guru Sahibans have defined it divine voice when blessed, all worries are vanished. Means a direct voice of God and which removes all tensions and griefs. They have called it Anhad Bani. The same thing has been defined by Sheikh Faridji as Bangi Ilahi. The only difference is that of language. This Bangi Ilahi means the voice of God or Khuda. And the English saints have called it God's voice, and light means a voice having charming light of God. Some other great men have called it the stream of ambrosia or the mass of celestial light, etc. This name is reverberating inside your body and in every particle of this universe. There is no language in this world to express it, nor there is any creature who could describe this name. It is inexpressible in any spoken or written language. The voice of God can only be heard and felt through certain selected and expressible words. But how? I'll tell you this procedure when the spiritual congregation is over. These words are known as Varnatmak Nam or expressible words. It has a capacity to lead you to the stage when you can hear the internal Dhanatmak Naam, the voice of God. This Varnatmak Naam is provided to all human beings free of cost. We do not accept money or anything else as charity from anyone, but it is a matter of great surprise that only a few people have an urge to receive it. Why? Because the world is full of cheaters, and for the people at large, it is very difficult to believe that we are their well wishers and not cheaters. So, brothers, you will realize this thing only after listening this spiritual program. Marriage is a remedy of all the diseases. How? Significance of God's words. There are some horrible diseases which are unknown to you. These are sensual lust, anger, greed, worldly affection, and pride, mind and these are sticking to your soul and are called spiritual diseases. When man does not come to know of these diseases, when these attack him, for example, anybody grows angry suddenly when he becomes a victim of this disease. In anger, he turns to be merciless beast. He becomes unable to differentiate between his own self and the alien. In this fit of anger, sometimes the individual may murder his own near and dear ones and then would repent over it for the whole of his once lost cannot be recalled. The bondage of sexual lust and other sensual pleasures blind the individual and he becomes incapable of realizing the actual relation with others. This sexual lust guides his thoughts in its tune, and such people commit terrible sins. The people are becoming more and more intolerant. Why it is so? It is because of the fact that they have fallen a prey to these five ailments. The tolerance or patience can be enhanced only by reciting the holy words, and that too true Naam and not by hypocrisies. This Naam is not only a remedy for the internal disease discussed above, but is also a soothing balm for the physical disease which has been declared incurable by the doctors. It is so because God is the supreme power for whom nothing is impossible. But it happens only due to those individuals who recite the God's name devotedly. Their soul achieves salvation from the cycle of birth and death, becomes one with God, and merges into Him forever. In this modern age, man is becoming more and more busy in his worldly affairs, and as a consequence of which mental tension is also increasing. Sometimes the workload increases to such an extent that man goes half-made and repents over his miserable plight. This increased mental tension and burden, may it be due to overwork or enmity with others, sometimes compel the people to commit suicide or murder. Is there an forgetting mental peace and soul power? Yes, there is one. I'm here to tell you about that in the spiritual program. I tell you as to which will provide you peace and power. The people who recite the Naam and seek God's shelter become able to cross the worldly obstacles and also the next ones which they have to face after death. These people would become one with God and merge into Him. You can take the example of Mirabai, a true devotee of God. She had to face great miseries. A poisonous snake cobra concealed in a closed box was sent to her, and the message conveyed to her was that the box contained a necklace worth rupees 9 lakhs. It was sent by the king named Rana. The messenger took the box containing the cobra instead of a necklace to Mirabai. She knew no magic but was lost in the devotion of her Satguru. When she was told that it was the order of king that she ought to wear that necklace, but at once obeyed, and she at once obeyed and opened the box. What did she see? It was really a necklace worth rupees 9 lakhs in the box instead of the cobra. King then thought of another plan to kill her by sending her a cup of some poisonous mixture through his messenger. The messenger told Mirabai that her Satguruji had sent for the holy water for her. On listening this, she did not waste even a single moment. She drank this cup of poison and it really turned into the holy water. Think Mira Baiji was a human being and you are also like her. It means that God has not shut his doors for you, provided you remember him with utmost devotion. You can also achieve her status only if you recite the sacred Naam and feel a gripping urge like her. The word appears meaningless when God's love becomes a part of your life. The tastes of tongue, the sensual pleasures, and luxuries of this life appear fake and tasteless in comparison to the infinite pleasures hidden in the holy Naam. The great men say it is true that sugar, milk, ghee, honey, etc. are all sweet. The sensual pleasures and the taste of the tongue also acknowledge you with sweetness, but none of these things can compete the sweetness and taste prevalent in the name of God. It is millions of times more tasteful and sweet. Every soul which enters the human body and recites the word God's words is not only respected here, but is also welcomed with the floral showers by the gods and goddesses. They call this soul as great, great. They feel surprised to see that this soul has achieved God while living in the country of Kal, and that too in an age of vice. Such souls are welcomed everywhere and are jubilant all the time, here in this world and also in Sachkhand or Satlok. God's words, elixir for body and soul. If an individual commits too many sins and keeps on weeping and reopening, repenting over them, it is of no use for him. But if he recites the Lord's name and prays to him, saying, O God, I am a sinner, I have no power to see you by myself. You are compassionate and benefactor. You are all powerful. You can bless me with the divine vision if you wish. O God, please forgive me. Then, if you also meditate devotedly, you forgives even the greatest sinners, then you cannot. Why cannot you be forgiven? Just as a heap of million mounds of dry grass burns on coming in contact with a little spark of life, fire and turns into a heap of ashes. Similarly, the sins accumulated by the individuals for so many births get vanished on taking the true name of God. Sacred rays of Nam burn the sins like the grass and turn them into ashes. What to talk of anything of this universe? Even the human body does not accompany the soul at the time of death. But I assure you that the moments of breath which you utilize in remembering God all accompany you. God's words will help you everywhere and in every task. Greatest sinners even achieve salvation. So, brothers, even the greatest sinners who remembered God and sought His shelter have comfortably crossed this worldly ocean and achieved salvation. There had been instances of too many persons who had been the victims of very bad habits prior to becoming devotees of God. Koda the demon, Sadhana the butcher, Ganka the prostitute, Sajjan the robber, etc. are famous in our history. They were all evildoers. Then why are they remembered and honored? It is because all of them recited the sacred words and became true devotees after seeking shelter to God. Though formerly they are all sinners, but at later stage the recitation of holy words enabled them to get their names recorded in the history of devotees of God. Those who love humanity become clean enough to find God, and those who hate their fellow beings burn themselves in the feelings of jealousy, keep on thinking ill of others, and even pray to God to harm others, saying, O God, ruin my neighbor completely. Though I be deprived of food, he must not survive at any cost. So, brothers, due to this feeling of jealousy, the great men have described this world as a furnace of burning fires. The people are burning in the fires of hatred, anger, greed, worldly affection, pride, sexual lust, mind, and materialism. Any individual who protect himself from these world evils is the true devotee of God, and he really enjoys himself in this world. He does not believe in any caste and religion. To love others and to teach others to love all is his sacred habit. For example, in ancient times there had been grinding mills, querns, which were operated manually. Perhaps these are rarely available nowadays. These are used to grind the wheat, flour, etc. There is an axle in the center of this mill around which the upper stone moves. If a wheat grain happens to stick to it perchance, it remains as it is and escapes the grinding process. Similarly, storms of evil leads are rising in this world, and the man is badly involved in these. But the people who recite the divine words, remember God, and collect the wealth of Nam escape from these storms like the wheat grain which had stuck to the axle. Like this grain, the man who seeks the shelter and compassion of a perfect master is saved from the evils of this world and achieves the aim of his life, that is the salvation. This should be the only sacred aim of the human life in this world. Now, a few pertinent questions are being answered for the inquisitive people. Satsang means the company of truth. Truth is God, Prabhu, Ishwar, Allah, Khuda, Ram, Vaheguru, Bhagwan, Hari, etc. All these are the names of a single power. That supreme power is such an entity that can neither be perished nor it would be destroyed even by the great final destruction, that is the complete annihilation in the coming time as described in some religious books. Sat means the God and Sang means his company. So, Satsang means the company of God or of his true devotees. The spiritual saints and prophets, who are also called Sant Satguru, are those great saints who have found God and have become one with him. The company of such great men is called Satsang. The next point which needs explanation is who is Guru or Satguru? In fact, God is called Guru. Also, that devotee of God whose soul has merged into God and who has become one with Him can be called a Guru. The alphabet Gu in Hindi means darkness and Ru means light. And thus Guru means the one who acts as a torch of light in darkness. It is not the external darkness which can be removed with an electric bulb, but is the internal darkness, the darkness of ignorance which has enveloped the soul. A perfect saint who enables you to have the divine vision of God is the true Guru. Such a perfect saint himself always utilizes his every breath in the remembrance of that Almighty God. Kabir Sahib Ji says, O Kabir, what do avail of sleep? Awake and let soul aspire. All thy breaths are valued deep. Spend each as Guru's desire. Only a human being can be a Guru of the human beings. It is often seen that people fear to accept a man as their Guru. If anybody dares to say before the people that he has faith in so and so Guru or Saint or Sadguru or Prophet, then those people try to degrade him, saying, do you believe in a human being for Guru? But in whom do these interrogators believe in? See, they believe in a thing created by themselves. For example, here are peacock's feathers in my hand. Someone has collected these and wrapped these with a piece of cloth and has stitched it. If the same person who has done this all begins to bow his head before it says, you are my God, then how does it behave? How strange how strange it would look. He gives the statue of master or God to a thing arranged by himself. Anything which you can create can never be designated as your master. To consider such like man-made things as God is not the right way. God is one who has evolved all the souls and has created the entire universe. Had you the power to create him, you would have created numerous gods, then every man could have distributed one god to each one of his children. O brothers, it is most inappropriate and ridiculous to call a man made article as God. Some people ask why the man accepts a man as his guru. It is for your kind information that all the holy books, Granths, have been written by the great men or the devotees of God. Please let us know whether they do this word as a human being or in the body of animals or birds, etc. What were they? They were in the form of human body. All the knowledge which has been imparted to them, to man, was provided so only by the human beings. But a few persons still are ready to listen to a human being of his time or accept him as a guru. If someone says that an exceptional and extraordinary she god has become God, then the superstitious persons follow it to have its milk in the faith as if it is God. But it can never happen so. If God has to come in this world, He would come at least in the form of a human being, so that He may tell us something about spiritualism. Considering man made things as God is not the right path for the devotion of the Almighty and for achieving redemption. We all have come here from Sacha Soda Ashram Sirsa Haryana, India to deliver satsang. Let me call you clearly what is Sacha Soda, what are its aims, or for what purpose have we assembled here. What is Sacha Soda? First of all, what is truth such? I have already told you that truth is God, who never changes, means He is eternal and everlasting. The spiritual saints have disclosed this truth hundreds of years ago. Today's men, the scientists, have now come to know that the changes are really undergoing even inside the sun and other planets. But this phenomena had been explained by the saints centuries ago, that except for God, every other thing is changing with the passage of time. When compared, though scientific knowledge is advanced, that of the scientist or of the spiritual sense, of course, that of the spiritual sense, how this has already been made clear to you on the basis of scientific and spiritual arguments. Truth such is God and wealth or business or else is meditation without any hypocrisy and selfishness. This God's meditation is also called the true business or suchasura. Neither your religion and nor the political party to which you belong to change here because suchasura does not mean adoption of a new religion or of any political party. The only thing you are asked to give up is the evidence. You are to deal in truth only means. You should remember God by reciting His name. This is what Sachasura actually means. You are supposed to deal in truth in every breath of yours, but you are dealing in such things which will not accompany your soul in the end. Selfless service is the supreme holy devotion. The sadhus who live in such a ashram are taught to work hard. They do hard labor in the fields for the service of humanity. A press reporter came to me and said, Maharaji, it is very good on your part that you do not take any money or donation from anyone. I have seen that you are accepting or allowing the selfless physical service in your ashram. In my opinion, to accept money or selfless physical labor is one and the same thing. I have seen devotees supplying water, serving food, and also doing some other physical work here, though these might be for the welfare of humanity. I asked him, how is it similar? Listens. Suppose a thief brings 30,000 of rupees by robbing others or by any other means of earning and says, take this on the name of God. Now it is a separate thing that God is omniscient and so is perfect. Sent people in general do not know this fact about the spiritual sense. People cannot ascertain whether People cannot ascertain whether this money has been given by a right person or a wrong one. On the other hand, one is doing hard labor and serving selflessly before the eyes of the people. Don't you see the difference between? Isn't there a significant difference? service in the form of money may have some impurity or adulteration, but service in the form of work or hard labor can never be impure. It is always pure and supreme because everything is done before the eyes of the people, and secondly, it is absolutely without any personal motive. For example, each and every person here is working for the good of one and all and not for any personal interest. He is serving you all willingly without any outside compulsion or pressure and is not paid for it. Is he doing anything for his own family when he is serving you? Will he raise buildings for them? No, not at all. Then what does he gain from this? This mystery is only known to him. You can ask him. Its reward is felt by him only from his inside. The joy or happiness provided to him by God as a reward of his selfless service to humanity and his creation can never be enjoyed even by the aristocrats and the millionaires. Objectives of true sense. Now the point comes, what is our objective? Our aim to come here is, which should be of everyone of you also, to end the hatred, turmoil, opposition and quarrels which are increasing day by day. We want that every individual should have a feeling of love and brotherhood, and once again there should be an ocean of love in the world. There should be no hatred or destruction. This is our objective. We are here to lift up the humanity which is degrading day by day and also to make the people aware of the truth. Some people ask me the question as to from which source the DERA is meeting its expenditure. When we do not take any donation or charity, human mind is always ready to find faults with others. May there be, may there be anyone or not. People say that we don't take even a penny in the form of alms or gifts from anyone. Wherefrom we manage this vast establishment of the DERA. The man is in a habit of asking only those persons to whom he gives nothing. He does not ask those whom he pays directly and never ask them to account for the collections so made. Let me tell you about the source of our income. There is an ashram. Thank you, dear friends, those who are listening. May God bless all of us. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Nice to see all of you. Good morning, all of you.